Hello and welcome, Star Wars fans, to this week's episode of Duel of the Ranks, a show where we debate takes so hot that they'd melt a planet with twin suns. My name's Brody, and this week I'm joined by my co-hosts, Amanda and Christian, as we attempt to discover what story is truly the best from a galaxy far, far away. On this week's episode, we're going to be discussing ranks and hot takes from The Bad Batch Season 2, Episodes 1 and 2. By the end of this episode, we'll have a definitive answer on where these pieces of Star Wars content rank amongst the rest. With that said, we're back. We're all back in the studio.
The boys are back in town.
And Amanda
And we're all together again.
in the
Yay,
studio.
we did it.
So good being home.
It's so good. It's been a road. It's been a real road to get back to this spot. Christian and I were all over Europe. We saw a lot of things. We did a lot of stuff. What did we do? We went to Ireland, London, Scotland, France, Italy.
Switzerland.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, we saw a lot of stuff. We brought a couple, like a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, and less than a year old, a 1-year-old, and
And our wives
yeah,
Wow.
had a wonderful time.
no one died. No one-
Amanda saw a cat museum.
I saw a cat museum.
I had the best hot dog I've ever had.
There we go.
Yeah. Christian, did you have the best pizza of your life in Rome?
It was pretty top notch.
What was like the surprisingly
know.
best thing about your trip?
That's a
Doesn't have
great
to be Star
question.
Wars related.
Aside from Star Wars, I don't know. Rome was a lot more fun than I thought it'd be. Cool city, cool place to be, sights to see, people and food. How about you?
I really loved hanging out in Amsterdam because after we left London, we sort of had free time and we didn't have anything planned. So it was really romantic, just like walking along the canals and seeing all of the old houses and things like that. It was really beautiful.
Nice.
I never had much interest in seeing London or England my entire life. And then I went and I realized how amazing of a city London actually is. And I was so surprised how much I loved it. And when we were there, we attended this very small event called Star Wars Celebration that someone told me there was 500,000 registrants today, which I have a tough time believing that
Whoa.
many
That's a
people
lot.
were.
There was a lot of people
There were a lot. I don't know if there were
I
that
was
many.
overwhelmed.
It was absolute insanity. And while we are going to touch on the Bad Batch today, now that we're finally all together again, might be good to decompress a little bit and say some of our favorite moments. Do you have any? And what was some stuff that really stuck out to you about Celebration? Now that it was all of our first cons we've ever been to.
Yeah. So we learned a lot from that experience. And one thing we learned is that once you are split up, you are not finding each other again. Sorry. The Wi-Fi is not reliable. Your texts aren't going to go through. So just don't split up.
I remember that. And then at one point we were saying you and Jake wanted to go somewhere, and I really wanted to go to the live stage to see what celebrities were going to come out. And the live stage got so packed with people, and everyone thought Hayden was going to come out that day. And so as people continually gave up, I just got myself closer and closer until I was like one row from the front. And you guys said, well, you work at the live stage, get a spot, we'll meet up with you. And sure enough, like I never saw
him
you again. I got pulled into this sea of people, and I'm
But
like,
I also think we were probably like maybe 20 feet behind you.
really?
Yeah, but we just couldn't see each other. So also I was really sort of very in my own element, trying to like not have a panic attack just by all of the people. So I wasn't really sort of my outgoing self. But it wasn't until day 3 when the 3 of us went and started interviewing cosplayers in the atrium that I broke out of my shell, and I felt like I was able to really give back and fill in my own excitement, and hearing other people's favorite parts of Star Wars and why they chose to dress up as the characters they did just made me feel so excited and special and proud to be there. And to love something so geeky and cool like this.
Yeah, that's what I loved about Celebration. Just going, and you can literally strike up conversation with anyone, especially
Yeah.
about their costume too. Tell them you love it, asking them about it, and they just love sharing with you. And
Mhm.
I mean, you feel like you can pick up with you where you left off with anyone there.
Yeah.
It was so fun to just, I don't know, socialize on that aspect. But there were so many cool things to just revel about it, and a lot of people, and it was fun to turn your head everywhere and just get excited.
Yeah.
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 And you guys met Hayden.
Yes, we got a pic-
No big
Wow.
deal.
got to take a picture with the man himself.
What kind of cologne does he wear?
I don't know. I was intoxicated with
Someone,
it. You know.
someone on the phone told me today his cologne smelled like marbles. That's really funny you said that. I'm like, I don't know what marbles smell like.
Marbles. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Sounds
wasn't
like
getting
something
that
that needs
vibe.
to be disinfected.
No, it was just so awesome to just walk up next to him, and I had my son with me, and he was just so charming and endearing with, and like just loved that my son was there too, and just brought in for the side hug. And it was just really cool to, I mean, it was such a short time, but you could just tell I could have just talked with him forever,
Yeah.
which I'm sure a lot of people get the same feeling. But it was just so cool to get that moment with him, and
Oh yeah.
just, I don't know, both of you just smiling, looking at the camera. My son couldn't have cared less. He was just
He's like,
stone
"Who's this
cold
guy?"
staring at the camera like, what's going on? But
Yeah.
it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I took that was one of my favorite moments there as well, which look, I'm not saying I've met a ton of celebrities in my time, but I've met enough to when you're growing up, you feel like, "Oh, if I just met this celebrity, how cool would it be?" And you know, you meet, especially for like podcasts and stuff, you'll meet folks and it's just straight to business, do your interview. All right, we're done. We're wrapping up. Like not you don't really get a chance to connect. It's not like you're going to dinner with the person, whatever. But I remember meeting Hayden, and yeah, I think you and your kiddo went in first, and then we came in second. And my son as well knew he was Anakin, and was like, "All right, I don't fully trust this guy because I know he was Darth Vader. I don't know what Darth Vader did, but I know he's not good. So I'm gonna kind of watch this guy." But we walk in, and Hayden kind of bends down to his knees to say hi to my kiddo, and which was it was nice. We walk in, and I pick him up. Well, my kid, not Hayden, and and I look at him, and I just it only took a second, but I just said, "Hey, those movies you made had a great positive impact on my childhood. Now he's getting into Star Wars too, and he's really taken to it. It seems like it's making a positive impact on him. So I just want to say thanks for the work you did." And it was crazy. I mean, he's like, "Hey," again, could mean nothing, but he said, "Hey, that really means a lot. Thanks." And you know, he felt
No,
like a sincere guy.
he
I was
meant
like,
that. I mean, he like basically got emotional on that
he
live
cried
stage.
on
Yeah,
live
yeah.
stage.
He was
Yeah.
feeling it.
He was
Oh,
feeling it.
yeah.
And like when I said that to him, like, I don't know, it felt like, have you ever like talked to someone where you don't feel that emotional and you start seeing them cry and you're all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna start
Yeah.
crying."
Yeah.
It was that vibe where when he said thanks, it's not like he was tearing up or anything crazy like that, but there was some like it felt like a very I told Luke today, I'm like, "Man, he's either a great BSer or one of the most
He is an
sincere
actor.
or one of the most sincere humans I've ever met." Because that almost got me to well up a little. I'm like, "Yeah, no problem, man.
Yeah,
He's just
he just seemed like a really nice,
a genuine
awesome
guy."
guy. Because
Yeah.
I thanked him as well, like for what he's done, and just it's special what he's done with Star Wars. And then we kind of like had this kind of same moment. We were blessed and graced with Andy Serkis's presence as well. We got to like go up to the autograph table and have him sign some things for us, but like got a moment with Andy Serkis and thank him for what he's done for cinema, not just Star Wars in general,
Mhm.
but that. And again, he was just really cool to, he was just fully there, absorbing what you were telling him
Yeah.
and just receptive. And it was, I don't know, it was just really cool to have moments with him too. And just, it's great and special when these actors and celebrities can come out and give that time. and what was it? We were waiting in one of the lines, and the actor who played Axe Wolves, I forget his name, but like he just walked right on by. We're like, that's, and he was waving like, hello, and we're just like, hey. It was just, it was such a fun time.
Well, and you said it earlier, you never know who you're gonna run into. I bumped into Carl Weathers at one point. Right after I lost you and Jake, I bumped into Carl Weathers, and
oh yeah, you told him your dad died.
yeah, I told him my dad was dead unintentionally.
And his dad's not dead.
My dad's not dead. And there's a story to that. I don't know how much time we have here, so I'll just make it brief. I went up to him and I told him, yeah, my dad and I just said hi. Thanks for making those movies you made, like with Rocky and Predator. My dad introduced me to him, and we're big fans. My dad's not with us, and I was going to keep going to say he's not with us here at the conference, but I looked over and I saw, I believe was a manager, agent, whatever, looking kind of annoyed that like, hey, we're going somewhere. So I kind of cut it right there. I'm like, so he's not with us. But anyway, so I just wanted to just say thanks. And and then he stopped me and he's like, well, first off, points to this guy's like, thanks, Dad.
Aww.
And I'm like, oh. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna correct you, whatever.
You can at least tell your dad that like Carl Weathers like wishes you well on the other side.
Yeah. And I
just know when you get there,
yeah,
he wishes you well.
And so I walk off and I call my dad and I'm like, hey, are you good? He's like, yeah, why wouldn't I be? I'm like, I want to make sure I didn't speak something to existence. And he's like, why? I'm like, I just told Carl Weathers you were dead. And he's like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, you never knew you're gonna run into.
I didn't run into anyone famous.
Really?
I didn't.
But you ran into some cool fans. I do want to say before we get too far from it, I did achieve a top 10 life moment and having an interaction with Andy Serkis speaking in Gollum both ways, with my impression and his impression. And I'm like, I can die now. That's it.
We also had a couple people recognize us.
Yeah,
I wasn't there,
was
but
really
you
cool.
ran into some people from Spain.
Yep.
That's wild.
Person from Spain, Germany, India. Like, it was really cool to just,
Shout out to our international listeners.
Yeah, it was really cool to just interact with people who were listening to the show.
Yeah.
Last thing I wanted to say was that we attended like the making of Andor panel. Were you guys there? Or was that just me and Jake?
I was not there.
You were there. I was watching from the live stage, like the
okay.
stream, and I was like texting you all the amazing moments, and like they weren't going through to you.
No, but like we have the making of Andor, and there's like 8 or 9 different seats there, and they bring out Tony Gilroy, Diego Luna, the costume designer, like production design, and the very, very last chair is for none other than Nicholas Britell, and I was like,
baby.
I cheered the loudest. I was like, play the Succession theme song. But that was cool I didn't meet him, but I saw him.
Oh yeah.
So when
when I heard that, and I was like, oh man, freaking oh man, it was really cool to just hear them. I mean, we've analyzed that show, but hearing them talk about the show just made me want to watch it again for what they were doing that we may have missed. But yeah, what Nicholas Britell was talking about with like the score and what they were thinking, and
how much music he had to put into it, and how they were writing different pieces throughout the different parts of the production. I also really loved the villains of the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Specifically Gwendolyn Christie talking about Phasma, which, as we've talked about on here before, like we all wanted more from Phasma. It kind of sucks that like our experience with her was cut short, but hearing from Gwendolyn Christie about how she developed that character and the thought and care she put behind it, and how much she like desperately wanted to work for Star Wars, just gave me a whole new like super appreciation for that character. Even though she is brief, I feel like I need to read her book now, and there's like a follow-up to it, so I can feel more fulfilled by that.
For sure.
We got Andy Serkis had a ton of great stuff to say there. So did old Ian McDermott. Palpy was there, and it was a lot of fun. I think I actually have a couple photos I gotta send you now that you reminded me of you and Jake at that. But anyway, yeah. So it was a great time. Star Wars Celebration, top-notch convention, just stellar. If you're a Star Wars fan and you haven't gone, you get the opportunity to just pull the trigger. just do it because it was so much fun. And want to leave us on this, we did also go around and ask a lot of other fans for their own hot takes, and we interviewed those folks. So be on the lookout. We're going to be putting out a special little interview series that we did, and on a single video out on YouTube, TikTok, some different places. So be on the lookout for that. A lot of fun. And yeah, any last thoughts about Star Wars Celebration before we move on into some Star Wars news?
What do you guys think? Are we going to be in Japan in 2025? I'm
That
going to
would
go
be
off
sweet.
and say, as much as I would love to be in Japan, I don't think I'll be making that
Really?
trip. It hurts me, but maybe once it's back in North America, I'll definitely go.
I would love to go to Japan. It's always been on that bucket list of mine. So this is a great excuse to do it, just like Star Wars Celebration in the UK was. But I don't know. I'll have to see. They'll
Maybe
tell you that year.
Maybe they'll fly us out there.
I can tell you, post Star Wars Celebration London, I'm much closer to wanting to go to Japan than I probably would have been had I not been at Star Wars Celebration.
And Christian was the most reluctant to go.
Yeah, and now
I
he's
was.
going to be
So
the
that's
one
a big-
representing Duel of the Ranks
Yeah.
in Japan.
Wear the hat.
Wear the hat. They're going to know who you are. Yeah, we learned some cool stuff. We need business cards. Folks are really interested in what we're doing, so that was fun. Obviously, we haven't put out the last 2 weeks of episodes. My bad on audio stuff because, well, we've been gone. It's been hard to do it. So now we're going to catch back up, get back to our cadence of releasing content. We're here for you. Like, we were so good for like almost 100 episodes. We took
Give us a
literally 1
break.
week off. We took 1 week off. We're allowed a couple weeks to recoup and enjoy Europe, but we are back. There's been some crazy news. I mean, we won't go into all. We can have its own breakdown for all the new stuff they talked about at Star Wars Celebration, being the Rey movie, the whatever, the beginnings, the Jedi Origins movie, the what was the other thing? The Mandalorian
Filoni,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah, all this cool stuff that we can speculate on later as well. But
Wait, it's the Filoni film, so can we call it the Filomi?
the Filoni.
The
Is that
Filomiverse.
dumb?
All right.
Oh,
No.
damn, that was
You're a
not
Hey, I
bad,
liked
Roger.
it.
No. Hey, look, overall, there's a lot of cool stuff that's still coming out. One of the cool things that did come out this year was the Bad Batch Season 2. I guess with all of that, should we just jump right into it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. So what happened in these first 2 episodes, Amanda?
Okay, so our first 2 episodes, the Bad Batch is back for season 2 with another mission from Sid, this time to raid Dooku's old war chests on Sereno. At the Imperial shipyard, Omega, Tech, and Echo get trapped in an escort shuttle filled with treasure that begins to be taken off planet. Tech initiates a cargo release, which drops the shipping container down to the planet as the 3 hope the thrusters kick in to support their descent. Meanwhile, Tech is badly injured, and their intended escape goes badly wrong. Omega tries to help the mission and nearly gets herself killed, while Echo is run ragged, trying to keep it all together while they wait to be rescued.
Good summary. Good summary.
Good summary. Fun episode.
Yeah, fun couple of episodes, right? We're going right into like the first.
Meh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. So we reviewed Bad Batch season 1 very early on, and we had some complaints about it as far as there was too much stunning.
Yeah.
This one, it starts to heat back up again. Like the stakes already are a little bit higher. We feel a little bit more mature. The Bad Batch now has new armor, which I like. I like their colorful change.
Yeah.
Omega is studying a bunch of ships. She's continuing to like build herself up as an asset to the Bad Batch. And she's also kind of maturing and trying to figure out what's worth fighting for. Like she thinks that although this mission goes wrong a bunch of different ways, that she still has to like sacrifice herself to retrieve some of this treasure. And Echo and Tech and everyone else is like, no, it's not worth it. And I think that's an important lesson that we all have to learn. But I don't know, this episode was like, okay. I kind of was hoping for like a bigger bang to start off the season, personally.
Yeah. I will say, like, when it comes to, obviously I help folks with podcasts, and one of the advice and one of the pieces of advice I'd give, business owners is say, whenever you're starting an episode in your introduction, have some form of hook. If you like think of something, have something out the gate that maybe it's something provocative or something interesting, something that sticks out. And the season opener of Mando season 3, while some folks loved it, some folks didn't, it's pretty memorable. I still remember that.
It
If
hooked
nothing
me.
else, the big crocodile was like, whoa, all right, whatever, like turtle, crocodile, Bowser thing.
Mhm.
That's interesting. This first episode, it did really lack that hook to get you excited for this season. I did enjoy it. I'm so bought into Omega's character, and obviously I've already seen this whole season, so I'm I really, as this season progresses, you're going to see me fall more and more in love with these characters. And so, where it stands right now, it was enjoyable. You do get Omega still learning, she's growing. In the second episode, yeah, they get off that planet, and you have some cool things within the immersive universe. Like, you learn more about Count Dooku, how he was stealing resources from his own people. You do go back and visit his planet and how it was bombarded by the Empire, same as Camino, and the destruction there, and the folks, this innocent civilians, that it doesn't matter if it's the Separatist Republic or Empire. There's casualties regardless of whoever the name is, and there's just these people left on the outside. So just casualties of war and this evil regime that is over him right now. But even, and so again, and that was the Separatists, now it's the Empire. And then within the Empire, you see how much more evil they get, where this second episode, I think, takes the darkest turn so far in the Bad Batch, where you have Vice Admiral Rampart just killing Wilco in cold blood for not falsifying official records
Yeah.
submitted to the Empire of what happened with Clone Force 99.
Yeah.
So,
I would
and then
say
they
if there
show
was
him fall off the edge, which was
Yeah.
crazy. I couldn't believe that.
I would say if there was any hook, that was it for me.
Yeah.
Like the very end, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
They're back.
I'm
We're
ready
here
for
now.
episode 3 now. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, I do agree. It was about the safest season opener you could go with. It established time has passed. Omega's older. We are starting off, right into an action
We're
sequence.
still
light
connected with
stuff.
Sid.
Yeah, still connected with Sid. Where
Ugh.
here are your familiar faces. Here's a new one with what's her name, Fee. And like, I think it's a very safe, like, not that I thought it was bad, but just a very safe, clear-cut, standard season opener. And it was, sure, maybe like, we're lukewarm about it. But I will say some of our complaints, or maybe just complaints on the first season, were more so addressed in the second season, where they're already getting into like Tech and Echo.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, especially with Echo, when he kind of starts raising questions to Hunter about, the bigger scheme of things with the Empire. And I was like, oh, I thought it was kind of ironic, like, oh, the least human of them all is the most humanitarian of them, of the Bad Batch.
And he has the most reason to like be afraid of
Yeah.
the Empire and not want to go anywhere near it.
Yeah. Yep. And so I thought that was like good for Echo. And then like Tech has his moment, where he's kind of challenged. Like Sereno wasn't always a separatist, planet or whatnot. So like I thought there were good things about it. That there really wasn't anything bad about it. It's just a safe, good opener. But it's not. These aren't episodes that I would go back and rewatch at least for quite a while.
No, exactly what you were saying. What I wanted more of last season was Echo and Tech, because I feel like they were very unused. And in this one, when Tech and Echo and Omega get separated, Hunter has to fly the Marauder, and there's also another instance where they're like trying to break through Dooku's like hidden passageway or something, and he says something like, "Oh, Tech usually does this."
Mm.
So recognizing the importance of his role to the squad, and yeah, like getting that Omega interaction with Echo and Tech, because that's seriously lacking. Like, it's easy to see how she bonds with Hunter and Wrecker. So I'm glad we get that.
Which, speaking of the Marauder, if you're looking and watching the video, we've got the Marauder Lego right on our table, people, just for this season. So catch it while you can
Before it blows up, like
before we shatter it.
yeah, just right on screen. No, look, they're both a lot of fun. Overall, we gave the first episode like what is it, a 65%?
65.07.
Not a bad score.
67.07, and myself, I gave it a 72% for the first one and 73.2 for the second one. So, look, they're fun. They're not great, but that's okay.
It's just a start.
I think they're servicing and they're doing what they need. They're doing what they need to do as season openers, getting us ready for what's to come. Which is funny because you two have seen all of the second season, right?
Mhm.
I have not. So we're gonna have some different perspectives to play throughout
Yeah.
while we're gonna be ranking it. But yeah, it was
Our highest category for the first episode was the immersive universe, which I think checks out because we're going back to Sereno. We're getting some
Yeah.
more like Count Dooku backstory. And then for the second episode, our highest ranked was the characters. And I think that checks out pretty well too, because Omega's really trying to be on her own and wrestle with, I'm not a kid, but I'm not like a grown up. And that's a frustrating point of young adulthood to be at.
Yeah, I think definitely checking out with what you're observing with the characters, especially like Tech and Echo, and with what's his Admiral Rampart,
Yeah.
like killing Commander Wilco, and like just we're seeing kind of more so what he's willing to go for.
There's a lot of foreshadowing with that scene where, I mean, it's just the without putting out any spoilers for the rest of this season, it's the best foreshadowing, which we all already know if you've seen A New Hope or anything else, where you most point blank, this is the best example of the Empire really stabbing the clones in the back, saying, hey, thanks for your loyalty. Even in this case, they're being loyal. They're not going to falsify anything. They're going to do their job. They're going to do it honorably. And the Empire saying,
following
hey,
orders.
yep, hey,
Mhm.
thanks so much for everything you did. Boom, shot back of the head. And yeah, that foreshadows everything that's going to come to those loyal clones. Is we're going to shoot you, put you off the edge, and that's your existence. So
KG welcomes us back.
hello
It's
there.
glad to be
Yeah.
back. Good to see you again, KG.
It's been a long, long time. No?
No.
Another one? All right.
Keep it Star Wars, man.
It's hey, you know what it is, Marvel?
No.
Captain America?
No.
No?
Oh, is that a song?
Are you
in
that
Captain
embarrassed?
America?
Yes, it's in what's the last one? The last Avengers movie called Endgame, where he is dancing with what's her name? His love interest from the 1950s.
Oh, I know what you're talking
Kiss
about.
me once, then kiss me twice. All right. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, it's been a minute, but yeah.
I was not embarrassed. I just literally had no idea what you're talking. I'm in Star Wars.
I'm
mode.
embarrassed for you.
Listen, it's a great movie. I enjoyed it. It was better than these first two episodes. Not that, as I said, they're fun. They're not
People are
great.
like, hey, I'm gonna kill you.
Look, we all are kind of in agreement with these two episodes. I don't know
Yeah,
if there's a whole lot more to
okay.
say.
Yeah, we're not gonna sugarcoat it, people.
But I'm excited for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As I've said,
especially with that ending hook. Pow.
like that was
Yeah, meanwhile, it like drawing back to season 1 when Crosshair literally shot like a governor in the head.
Yeah.
And then they were like, he survived.
still alive.
So he's still alive.
Speaking of still alive, I had some. We were talking about this last week, but we had a listener of our show reach out to me and say, Moff Gideon isn't dead. Like that was really like dumb of you to go out and say like he's dead, he should be dead. Like clearly he doesn't have his mustache anymore. So obviously
That guy's never
Obviously,
shaved
he's
a
a
day in
clone.
his life.
and I'm like, you know what? You're probably right. He's probably not dead. And I hate those death fake outs. And same thing with what's his name? If Wilco's not dead, I will be equally
not
like
dead.
we
upset.
pick up at the end of the season, like just like him laying with his eyes closed on the cement, and then he's
Just-
suddenly like,
And then the credits.
cut to black.
That's all I want to see now.
Wilco. Oh, listen. This show, this season, I've said it. It's not going to be in the hot takes segment because I said it before. It's the best season of any Star Wars TV show.
That's
Holy
a
crap, man.
wild
We're not even at the hot take
presumption.
segment yet. But you
Yeah,
did
you-
say
but
it last
also-
week.
Yeah,
will
he
say
did
that.
say it last week, and we discussed that we can't even like comment on it because we haven't
Yeah.
officially like reviewed this. So
Yeah, he's priming. He's
you're
priming
you're
for
out
that
of pocket
season
with that
finale.
one.
The only one I'll accept is Andor above it. So that's
That's the only one he'll
That's
accept, folks.
fair.
I like KG. You commented, this is 100% Tech's season. So I'm guessing maybe you've seen all of this, but it better be because Tech did not have a great season last season, which we've
Mm.
talked about before, and how
I also think you're just being hypercritical of him. You're saying like
this was
he's
way
bad at
back
his
when we
job.
reviewed the first season.
No, I know. I'm saying like you said he is just like bad at his job.
Yeah, we
he was.
did. Yeah,
You could rewatch the first season, man. His name is Tech, and
And
then look at
everything
all
would
of the
go
mess
wrong.
ups that he had.
yeah.
But also like I question how much room for error there was with like his job. Like we don't understand anything about the code that he had to like sift through in like seconds with like
No.
basically a gun at his head.
I like Tech. I'm not saying I hate on him or anything, but it was more so like he was just bad at his job. And we talked about almost all the incidents in season 1. So
Well,
you could
and we
go
also
back
talked
and
about
review them.
how Echo is also unnecessary. I know for a fact we were like, why are Echo and Tech even a part of this? Like, why can't Hunter just do most of this? But I will say, I mean, it's hard to not talk about this season as a whole because there's some really great moments coming up. But I don't think this is a spoiler, but Hunter doesn't really have as much screen time this season, which I kind of like
Yeah.
because meh,
He was kind of spotlighted first
Yeah.
season, which I think you have to with
he's
a
the
new
leader.
crew of the Bad
Yeah.
Batch. You know, you're getting all that, and we already kind of had this baggage with Echo. So I even give grace or understand. They're not going to focus much on Echo in the first season, but
Hey, thanks Jeffrey Miller for welcoming us back and for checking us out when we were abroad.
yes, we
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Look, this season it's going to be packed with so much fun stuff for us to break down, and I'm just so excited that Star Wars decided to take this direction and take a very serious tone with the Bad Batch season 2. And some of my favorite writing in Star Wars. It's like I said, it's a soft opener that you go back and you watch. You're like, all right, I can just grab the highlights here.
I do think, though, from what you're saying, like if it's getting as serious as it will later on, then you kind of have to have a soft opener
Yeah.
like this to bridge season 1 to season 2, because you can't just jarring cold shock water them with a completely new tone for season 2. So I think that just makes me feel better about these first 2 episodes.
Also, we're getting some comments about our streaming quality here. It's the funny thing, we got like legit a news camera in here that can film in the nicest 4K. We actually have to like significantly downgrade our camera's ability just to like stream on this platform. So it's some days it's still the bit rate's too high and you got to slow some stuff down. So bear with us. And the worst case scenario, if you ever get booted out or it's not good, don't worry, we'll have the on-demand recording up right afterwards. But
as Mike Myers said, if it's not Scottish, it's crap.
You and I, that's another thing we learned this last trip. Christian and I do not have the same sense of humor at all. And neither do our
Really?
wives.
We just learned this.
Yeah. Every
Really?
time one of us would pull up a video, Christian's like, you guys, this is so funny. No one would laugh. There'd be videos I would pull up. I'm weeping with just sheer joy and laughter. It's so funny. Whatever I pulled up. crickets from everyone else.
Mm,
And it's just
that'll
like,
humble you.
It made for some interesting, fun talks.
we're like, why are we pulling up YouTube videos anymore?
What's the point?
We could all
Go
make
to
each
bed.
other laugh at best.
KG hashtag Tech Talk. We're gonna have a lot more Tech Talks throughout this season, so I like that.
Age difference? No, not. I think we're all like
No,
the
we're
same
all
age.
the same age.
No, that's
Just-
our sense of humor has nothing to do
we're
with
just-
it.
I'm chronically online, so my sense of humor is one that goes beyond the depths of the internet sometimes.
Now I'm kind of like concerned. Usually that means it's really dark.
Yeah.
Oh.
I remember I introduced you to Nathan Fielder.
Yes. Yeah,
So we're on the same level there.
we are. I have shown him to a few people, and they just like I've learned to just stop showing him to people because
Is that the guy would do it like like poop yogurt stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that guy's funny.
I decided not to show him to you and your wife because I was like,
I already knew. We already seen and we enjoyed and left.
I showed him to both of you.
No, we saw him, I think, some other time, or Amanda mentioned, and that's how we watched.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you have seen it. All right.
This is going a little off the rails, but now that we're here, I just got to address it. Okay. Aside from that, there's this other show called So I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And everyone I know around me finds that show so funny. And I am the only person I know that's like, this is the most dull, boring crap I've ever seen. It is like a poor excuse for another white man to think he's funny and give him a TV show. It is bad sketch comedy, and it's coming back. And Jake and I get in most of our fights because we don't agree that that's funny.
So he thinks
He thinks it's funny. Well, he was on my side
roasted.
for a while. He was like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And then, like, I don't know, one day he woke up and he was like, I get it. And I was like, no.
You know what I think is funny? I don't think a single one of Christian's videos or his sense of humor is normally funny, but I find Christian
Thanks,
funny.
man.
Christian, you are funny.
Oh,
I find him to be funny when I actually take the time to listen to you.
that's really thoughtful. Thank you.
I think the worst we got at this trip, the last day of the trip, I said he was being annoying. That's pretty good.
That's pretty
That's
good.
a month of us living together.
And I thought that the last day of the trip.
Only
we
the
we
last?
both thought it a lot of the days of the trip, but I didn't say it.
Yeah, I went below the belt the last day of the trip and called Sadie who's being annoying.
But
We-
I
we-
mean,
we both thought it at
to our
points.
credit, you travel 3
Yeah,
weeks with
dude. You're
anyone.
gonna be annoyed by
3.5
everybody.
weeks.
Yeah,
That's too long.
yeah.
And a
That's
lot of
gonna
times we were in
happen.
the same room.
That's too much proximity to
It's
each
gonna
other.
happen.
And you're talking like 4 children in there.
Mm-mm.
But you know who
No one lost
travels with each other all the time, and they don't kill each other?
But they do lose it on each other. They call each other worse things than annoying from time to time.
The Bad,
Bad
Batch.
Batch.
They do.
They're
They
family.
do.
They do.
They're a nice little family for now.
For now.
For now. For
Oh.
now.
Speak really quick. I have to address a couple beefs I have with
Oh.
this show,
Okay.
because people like talking beefs with Star Wars, right? And it's not big. It's just nitpicking. But I feel like they don't convey physical pain very well, like realistically. Like, first example, Omega in the first episode slides down that cable with her bare hands. You don't do that and walk away with your hands perfectly fine. Like, it just
Fair.
didn't even phase her. One, like, unreal. When she did that, I was like, oh, what are you doing to your hands? And then she's just, back at it, just killing, slaying. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then the second one, where was it Tech
Breaks his femur.
got mimicked and like broke or cracked his femur, the one that's the bone that's supposed to be the most painful
Yeah.
one to break, and he's just like, oh, it's just a flesh wound, and
Yeah.
then, like, he's just like hobbling along like nothing, just like a little sprain of the. It was like, these people don't understand injuries.
Yeah, the way he was still walking, I was like, dude, you would probably faint from
Yeah,
the pain.
I was like, what? I mean, granted, sure, he's got armor, so maybe I'm not giving enough credit to that, but that's like two big things there. I'm like, people don't realize these things hurt.
Maybe the Kaminoans designed clones to have a smaller pain tolerance or like a larger pain
Yeah.
tolerance.
Super enhanced soldiers, you know.
The femur is like
Because
nothing.
if they were always worried about like, oh, I stubbed a toe, then they would
Yeah.
never be helpful in any war.
That's true. That's true.
Now I need to find the clone who's super sensitive to his toe being stubbed and gets kicked out and put on janitorial duty or something else. But hey, speaking of clones, some Star Wars news for this week. A lot of folks are talking about old Tamara Morrison and how he was apparently super sad he did not receive a call to be in The Mandalorian season 3 and how he was supposed to be in it. But Mando stole his shine
I'm
with his
sad
dark
for that
sword.
too.
Yeah, me too. We even had great ideas for how you could bring him in.
I
We
heard
talked
it,
about
he
that.
was saying it in a joking way. So it could all just be one big joke. That
Or
he-
he's just a nice guy that he has a hard time expressing himself, so he has to make it really soft so people don't
Yeah.
understand that he's furious.
Yeah, I don't know. I was not privy to this yet. You guys beat me to it, so I'm just kind of going off that information. But yeah, it's. I mean, like you were saying, you know, Mando comes into his show.
But
Why can't
Boba
he come
should
in?
definitely come in.
Yeah, at least make an appearance. you
Although,
know.
as one who very much so wanted Boba in this last season, I will say he would have been out of place in this season of Mando. And this
It might make sense for season 4.
yeah, I mean, to me, it seems like, as we've talked about before, it's going to be a good while before we get Mando again. They kind of basically said, all right, we're going to pause this series now. This is done with that very fast-paced episode that left you kind of, with that little whiplash it gave you from how fast it was. But yeah, it's going to be a while before we get him back. But look, I think we get Tamara Morrison as Rex and Ahsoka in some way, shape, or form. That is a character that makes sense for that series. If he's ever to show up in live action, it's that series. Tim's the age, so why the heck not?
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see.
But yeah, overall, we've gotten so far away from these 2 episodes. Clearly, we said a 60,
They
like
just
a
weren't
65.
juicy enough for us to keep
Yeah,
talking
65
about.
and a 67%. There's not a lot to say, so I guess we'll move into the last segment of, the second to last segment of the show. Hot takes time. Let's do it.
Don't be too proud of this podcast you've constructed. The ability to rank content is insignificant next to the power of an exceptional hot take.
All right. It is hot takes time. And I've got something pretty interesting for us this week that I want to bring up. This, correct me if I'm wrong, you two, but I think these first 2 episodes of the Bad Batch season 2 were so meh that for the first time in this show's history, not a single host has a hot take. Am I wrong?
I have a hot take.
You
Oh.
do?
I do.
Do you, Amanda?
No.
All right. Well,
So immediately your hot take is wrong. So
it wasn't even a hot take. I was
Bye.
just, I'm just like,
Bye.
it was an observation, an incorrect observation. What's your hot take, Christian?
Well, you let
You
me
did
know
last
if it's a hot take. I could be wrong, and then we default back to.
Oh, I see what you're saying here. That is hot. All right.
Well, so I was going to say, in all of Star Wars, aside from lightsabers, I think Omega's energy bow, I don't know the official name of it. I think Omega's energy bow is the coolest weapon in Star Wars. Like all of Star Wars, and you think of all the weapons and the weapons and technology, encyclopedias and books. I know you're out there, people. You read those books. I think Omega's bow is the coolest.
Why?
It's simple, it's elegant, it's very utilitarian in terms of like you're not reaching for arrows, you're just pulling it back and
Yeah.
you're just like flinging energy. And when you're not using it, folds up, put it on the back. It's like everything a classic ancient bow with all of the new sci-fi tweaks and toys you could love of it. I just think it's a really cool concept that I don't think people have talked about or appreciated enough for something in the Bad Batch. Like Bad Batch is kind of like one of those just little side ancillary shows of Star Wars. But I think the energy bow is just so freaking cool, and it's not getting the attention that it deserves.
It's crazy that we've never seen another one.
I know, right?
Nothing
Well-
even close to it, really.
Well, I guess correct me if I'm wrong. We're in the first season, the cat humanoid species, the Zyg whatever. Did they have those? Or is it just the one that we see?
I don't remember.
I don't remember, but someone will correct me out there. But I think it's so cool.
So my thought is, I agree. I think it is one of the coolest weapons in all of Star Wars. But I think everybody will agree with that. So I think that makes it milk toast.
But to say he said it's the second coolest piece of weaponry.
I think that's easy to agree with.
I completely disagree.
Let me have it, Brody.
First off, Jango Fett's Westar 34 pistols. Just every shot that.
The sounds are really cool. But
Oh,
just pistols.
and it's way smaller, way more compact, packs way more of a punch. And
Does it?
oh, it certainly does. And they're customized to fire at a higher clip too.
Remember when Jango had to shoot that Dino Jedi like 3 times to knock him down in Attack of the Clones?
I mean, it got him. It got him. So, and also we have to count Mando's, what is his sniper rifle, the disintegration one?
That is
Oh,
a cool
yeah.
one. See, I think that's a contender.
That is true.
Both of those. And Boba Fett's EE3 exists. Han Solo's the DR DL-44.
Yeah, iconic.
All of those are more practical, more effective.
Sounds like I ruffled some feathers.
I got mine. So no, I wouldn't. I think it's a cool piece of weaponry that apparently, beautiful blonde people in Hollywood have to use. Her, Legolas, just grab your bow and get out there and start shooting bad guys with unlimited arrows, but they'll all still only count as one. Fortunately, that does not count as my number one as far as weapons in Star Wars goes. So it's not even my top 5.
Ooh,
So
disagree?
I totally, yeah. I think
Disagree.
KG agrees with me. So,
All right, play it.
all right. Sorry, Christian. Let me find the take here. There
I
it
got
is.
a
Sorry,
bad
Pups
feeling
Buddy.
about this hot take.
All right. Sorry about that. Amanda, what do you got?
I don't have one.
I'm really happy Christian brought one this week because
Yeah,
I didn't
we
think
needed that.
I didn't think there was anything really to say.
yeah, I mean, it is hard to think of something for like these 2 episodes. I'll give you that.
I'll say this. If there's anyone in Star Wars, any of the villains, I'll put it this way, that I'm going to give not a complete pass to, but I'm going to be like, I can get where you're coming from. It's Count Dooku. And even when it comes to, he stole resources, this and that, it's like, look, the man was trying to, like, I'm not saying he was right, but what he was trying to do with the separatist movement against a republic that had proven to be inefficient and not work, I'm just curious to see how far it could have gone with that. With that separatist alliance, what really could have happened and gotten representation for those outer lying systems. How would it have played out? Look, I know he's not a good guy, but I'm just curious if he was a little more like, if he wasn't so dark side about everything. I don't know. It would have been really interesting to see where things could have gone. So I don't know. This
That's
episode,
not a take.
it's not a take. It's just something interesting that I
Yeah.
would love to see more Count Dooku. And I love how like Tales of the Jedi and everything else, they display him as this complex guy. And I know right now they're just like, he stole
Yeah.
from us. He's bad. And I'm like, yeah, but did you deserve it?
Yeah,
Probably
and-
not, but like, I don't know that.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. He's a lot more nuanced and complex now, whereas right after Revenge of the Sith, no, he was just clear cut
Yeah.
bad guy.
Yeah, by that point, he was just bad.
Yeah, but we've gotten a lot of things fleshed out with him to be in nuance that makes it. That's what makes Star Wars fun too. Getting that backstory and whatnot. But
Oh well.
no takes.
No more
No
takes.
more
That
takes.
was our most milquetoast segment. I mean, you brought it with your take, Christian. So good job there. All right, last segment of the show, trivia time.
This is the way to trivia time.
All right, it is trivia time, and Amanda, you've got a question for us today.
All right, this is coming from general Star Wars trivia, so not related to this episode. Who was Gold Leader in the Battle of Endor? Was it Wedge Antilles, Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, or Lando Calrissian?
I'm gonna say Lando.
Gold Leader.
I should know this. I'm blanking.
I'm gonna say Lando.
Let's say, who is A?
Wedge.
Oh no. Let's say, I'll say Lando as well.
It is Lando.
All right.
Yay.
Right on.
Wow. Well, we're both right. Look at us, Christian. We can both be right with things.
This
Actually,
is
it's kind of been funny. The
fantastic.
last few weeks, maybe it's because we've been living with each other for like a month, but like our numbers have been pretty similar every week for the last.
Yeah, we need
month.
to sequester you guys so
Yeah.
you can have
Well,
your own opinions.
Were
now.
we similar on this one? Like,
Pretty close.
Yeah.
how close were our numbers?
Yeah, so for this second episode, you said 68, I said 73. The one before that, you said 65, I said 72. So, ballparking each other.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, tomorrow, I'm going to be going to the Return of the Jedi. It's their 40th anniversary this year. They're doing a live showings here at the Alamo Drafthouse Cinema, so you're going to be seeing that. I know you're going to be seeing it, Christian, so next week. So that question's on brand, Amanda. Pretty excited about
Yeah.
that. Pretty excited for the rest of this season. And I'm pretty excited to announce that although for bingo this season, boy, of Mando, we're going to go ahead and announce some winner stuff here. We kind of made it pretty hard.
Yeah.
And we actually, unfortunately, did not have a single winner.
Official winner.
Which is crazy because the trajectory, like we were getting stuff every week.
Yeah.
Yep,
And
and
for
then toward
sure
the end
someone
there,
was going to get a bingo. And then we had several just one away.
one away. So if you are in fact one away, one time only, because the Ahsoka bingo, we're gonna make it really easy. You're gonna have to just like first 2 episodes, people are just gonna get it. But for this last season of Mando, if you had 4 bingo numbers marked off, write to us, let us know. We've got something special for you. So just send
Yeah.
something to dueltheranks@gmail.com.
We don't want to scam you.
4 on their way to a bingo or just 4 on the card?
4
4
on their way to a bingo.
almost
And
a
Alright,
bingo.
Yes,
just
good.
later.
Yeah, I
Any
got 4.
four.
Any 4.
Come
No,
on
you
over.
got
We
4.
got all the money.
You got. We got 4 in a row. If you got that, you got a prize from us. So
Yeah.
feel free to let us know.
We
But-
appreciate you playing with us.
Yeah, we're going to be doing it again for the Ahsoka bingo. And again, we're going to make it considerably easier. So first 2 episodes, if
Like
you're paying
each
attention.
character will have probably one randomly.
Yeah.
placed, you know,
Mm.
Yeah, stuff scattered,
a
but
couple little softballs in there, and a couple like dark horses.
yeah, but people are definitely going to be getting bingo for that one. So pretty excited to make
Check
it.
your cards.
Check your
There you have
cards.
it,
Check your
folks.
cards. It's going to be a whole lot
We
of fun.
know which one of yous are close, but you have
We
to
know.
know.
But do you know?
Yeah,
Do you know?
reach
We-
out to us.
What I know is that next week it's going to be a whole lot of fun to break down more Bad Batch. Christian's not here. We do have a guest for that episode, so pretty excited about that. We'll announce more
I
about
feel
that.
like the episode that comes next is one of my faves, though.
Really?
Yeah. And I feel like it would be one of your faves.
Oh,
So
guys.
if it is the one that I'm thinking of.
Let's just
Get your number,
review
Christian.
episode 4 next week, and then we'll review
And go back
episode
to
3
3.
when I'm back.
Yeah, you should just get your numbers in, Christian. Well, I feel like I know you well enough now to say
You don't know me?
Look,
You're not-
we laid in bed together and watched Mando for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Snuggled.
Like
Who was Big Spoon? Who was Little Spoon?
well, there was technically no spoons in action. We were like two equally sized spoons compartmentalized
No,
in a
you
drawer
were
next
the
to each other.
spoon and the fork. Like
Yeah.
two separated, divided.
There
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
laptop in the middle.
Yes.
There was chocolate. We did
There
enjoy
was
some
we
chocolate.
did eat some Toblerone dark chocolate in bed.
Romantic.
We were one glass of wine away from it being a really good date, but you know what? Heck, it was a lot of fun watching Mando with Christian and in France
time.
and Switzerland and
In
Rome
Ireland.
and Ireland. Yeah, man. We're good friends now. So anyway, the Mando
We weren't
theme,
before this whole time recording, but now we are.
the Mando theme song we just now think of as
Wait, like Sultans of Swing?
Some Kenny G jazz.
Yeah, that's the Mando theme for us now. Like Season 4 is gonna-
There you go, Amanda.
yeah. I think for the finale, I texted him something like, "Hey, the computer's open and the bed's ready for you. Come on down."
Oh my god.
What?
The fanfics are gonna go crazy with that one.
Not a bromance. Let's get that clear.
Yeah, Christian was not about it. He rejected me pretty hard.
There's a mutual
Oh.
respect.
It's
though.
like in The Sims when you have
Mutual
like
respect.
when you have like two people connecting on The Sims and then like they're all plus and then you're like flirt and then it's like, oh
Yeah, that was it. And that was actually just one of us two telling a joke.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, ugh.
I get the appeal. But
Oh, the amount of times Christian would say that on this trip. You never notice someone saying something over and over and over until you
Uh-huh.
live with them. And now every time he says, I get the appeal, I just want to.
Yeah.
Yep. There are
I'm
a
kidding.
lot of things this guy said. that, I'm not- I wanted to
If you
keep
thought
it
an hour-
Star Wars. All right.
If you
I'm here to keep
if
Star
you thought
Wars.
an hour of me was a lot, I did feel bad for Christian. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. That's 3.5 weeks.
Cut
of me.
yourself some slack, man. But people don't want to hear about us. They want to hear
I
about
think they
Star
do.
Wars.
I think they do.
Maybe
Christian.
I'm wrong then. Amanda doesn't like hearing about us.
No, I want to hear about me.
Yeah, we need to talk about
Wow.
Amanda, her cat museum,
Yeah.
and the gosh.
Is that all you know about Amanda?
No, I'm just like, how much does she want me to share? I don't want to.
I've got my son Max Rebo here.
Yeah, you did get that
Yeah,
celebration.
where you did get that celebration?
Yeah, I showed him in our last call too.
Yeah, in the
He's my
flesh.
boy,
Yeah, boy,
but he's gonna hang out at the studio now
that's cool.
until the studio moves.
It is, yeah. Without going too deep into my personal life, you all on the back end won't notice a thing. But yeah, the studio's going to be moving pretty quick here, and we built this studio on caster wheels, so it can be portable. We can move, it can fold up and take wherever we need to go. But yeah,
That's a good reminder to just let everyone who's listening know that this is entirely self-funded. We don't have any sponsors. So
Yeah.
this is our passion project. So if you like what you see and hear, please don't forget to like and subscribe and follow and
Mm.
rate and
Share.
interact and share, comment. Even if you can't like support us by like buying stuff, like just sharing it out to your friends or commenting something really helps our algorithm. And we all have other jobs, so this isn't something that we do full time.
Yeah,
And we like that we can just keep it still really like a fun passion project on the side, and loved meeting you all overseas.
Oh, it was so fun. And what's I think is great about our show is mentioned it earlier, but yeah, I for a living do digital media and marketing. And for us to really turn on a green light and a switch to make this show really profitable. I mean, there's some we all know this. There's a lot of things we could be doing right now to make that happen. But if we did that, I think very quickly we would lose the magic of what makes this so special as a just extra thing that I can say. We've done this show for like a year and a half now, and I still legitimately every Thursday look forward to talking Star Wars with you two. And yeah, so if it grows, it blows up, and it does it in the way we get to enjoy doing it, all the
It's
better.
a dream come true.
Oh, so sweet. If
All
you have
the
really nerdy friends, send them to dueloftheranks.com for
Yeah.
the numbers, where we beautifully index them. Check out our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok,
Yep.
all that jazz.
And we've got some more fun stuff. We enjoyed Star Wars Celebration. We're going to be coming to more events as we get invited out to them, where we're going to be doing more and more on-site interviews with Star Wars fans. So be on the lookout for that. And if there's a good event near you think we should be at, let us know. But yeah, we're going to be doing more Duel of the Ranks tours since London. So be on the lookout for some really cool stuff on our YouTube channel with other Star Wars fans, cosplayers, content creators, and who knows, maybe even some folks from Lucasfilm as time goes on. So
Ooh.
Duel of the Ranks is going places, y'all. It's going places. But for folks who want to see where those places go, Amanda, where do they find Duel of the Ranks stuff?
Look up Duel of the Ranks on Google, and you'll see dueloftheranks.com, which houses all of our episodes, how we've ranked everything so far, our shop, our blog. You can see it all there. And then follow us, on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Be sure to just say hi and let us know what your hot takes are. You can submit them through the website, or you can just berate us on social media, and we'll check them out.
And like I said, right now, I'm so proud to say our show has been unsullied by sponsorship. Outside of bingo, we haven't asked a single person for money. We're not asking any of our listeners for money. Look, we're enjoying it. We hope you enjoy what we do. This is a passion project for us. If you can't tell, we're passionate about you, our listeners. So if you like it as well, share it out with the world. Thank you all so much for helping this show even exist. We definitely wouldn't have been, I can say for certain, we would not have been at Star Wars Celebration without our listeners and our community who absolutely got us there. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
Hey.
Yeah, Lucasfilm. Unsullied by sponsorship until now.
All
That's
right.
it.
Yeah,
That's this week.
that's it.
All right, y'all. Well, may the force be with you. First time I closed with that. I'm officially in celebration mode. Yeah, canceled. All right. See y'all next week for, almost said Mando. Bad Batch.
Bye.
Bye.